Shelby and welcome to my channel, Pages to Turn. Today I am reviewing The Rose and the Dagger by Renée. Again, I cannot say her last name to save my life, so I'm just going to spell it Renée, A-H-D-I-E-H. I'm going to guess Ahdieh this time. Maybe that's right, I don't know. Here's the cover. Like the last book, this cover has the little cutouts where you can see the image of Scheherazade behind it, and I love how this one you have little roses, but you also have little daggers. Now the problem with this one is it is a library book. I do not own it. I'm hoping on fixing that problem soon. So there is going to be that glare, but I hope it's not too terrible. So here's the cover of it. And like the last book, when you open it, you have a color image. This one is of Scheherazade in a red dress in a desert. And then you turn the page, and it's the same thing in black and white. Now I'm going to turn the page again and show you the title page because you can better see the roses and the daggers because there is no glare. Now again, this is the second book. It's a duology, so here is the first one. So you have The Wrath and the Dawn and then The Rose and the Dagger. I love duologies because there's only two. You don't have to worry about where I'm reading a third. As you can see up here, I'm currently reading Perfected, and I have the second book as well, Tarnished. I do not own them. I got them from the library. And I think that's one's a trilogy, and those kind of annoy me because you have to wait for a third book, when in some stories it could be told in two. But again, with this world that she creates, Renée does, it's just so gorgeous. I would have loved a third, but this story just did not need it. So two was good enough. Now I think this book wrapped up this series quite nicely. Again, you have the gorgeous writing that Renée does, this gorgeous world. And in this book, the premise is there's going to be kind of some spoilers to the first book in this one, so maybe, you know, just in the video here, read the book, come back, we can discuss. Or if you just don't care about that, if you've already read the summary inside the book, then keep watching. So in this book, Scheherazade has been separated from Khalid. In the last book, the city of Renée has basically been destroyed. The city's in shambles. I guess you'd call it a castle. I don't know what else to call it, with the round little windows, typical Arabic style that you have there. It's kind of been destroyed, not too bad. And in the last book, Tariq came and he rescued Scheherazade because Khalid was out of town on business. And so she is gone, she's in another camp, and Khalid has basically let her go because, you know, what else can he do? He knows he has this problem that's mentioned in the first book. Again, spoilers kind of, so don't watch unless you want to be spoiled of the first book. So he lets her go, and this entire book is basically them trying to break the curse that is upon Khalid, as well as trying to rid themselves of a dangerous enemy, which is a relative of Khalid. And so his kingdom's not that bad, I can't talk. His kingdom isn't good at all, and so they have that problem going on. As well as, I love in these books, I forgot to mention this in the first book review I did of The Wrath and the Dawn, that there is magic going on. I love the subtle magic in this book. It doesn't play a huge role, but I just love the subtlety of it. It adds to the complex world that Renée builds. I'm calling her by her first name because I cannot pronounce her last name to save my life. But again, I love the complex world building that's done in these books. And so the magic adds subtly to it. You have a magic carpet in this book. It makes me so happy. As soon as Scheherazade was given it in the first book, I immediately knew what it was, that it was going to be a magic carpet, and it is awesome. I loved that little Aladdin throw-in into this book. It's just so genius. I love how she, instead of having Scheherazade tell the stories every night, not only is she telling some of them, but she's living some of them, and I absolutely adore that. Now the ending of this book I loved. I would have loved it more, but I felt like everything was wrapped up so nicely. You have an epilogue, so you get to see Scheherazade and Khalid later on. And I feel like that just wrapped off everything so nicely again, as I said before. As well as you're not left with any loose ends. You know what happened to basically every single character. And it's not wrapped up completely with some of the characters, so there's that hint of reader imagination. And I love reader imagination because everyone imagines a different ending for these characters, and I absolutely love that. So for those of you who read this book, The Rose and the Dagger, what do you think is going to happen with Tariq after reading this book at the end? I have my theories, but I'll probably share them as replies in the comment section, so I don't spoil too much. I know I haven't said a lot about spoilers for those who haven't read this book, but some might be like, oh, I didn't know that about this book. I haven't even read the first one. So again, read the first one, then come back to this book review so you know what's going on in the first book. Again, I highly recommend getting these books, highly recommend reading them. You will not be disappointed. These books got very good reviews on Goodreads. And again, the shelf appeal, just look at these. They're so gorgeous. I mean, here's the front of them. Again, this one's going to have a bit of glare because it is a library book. Here's the fronts. Here's those, the sides, the backs. This one's covered by a library sticker, and you have the little blurbs. I'll read you some of the blurbs of this one. One of them says, a potent page-turner of intrigue and romance. That's by Publishers Weekly. Kirkus Review says, deathly romantic, delicious angsty, addictively thrilling. I definitely agree with that one. And the last one I'll read is, sumptuous detail, satisfying steamy scenes. And that is by the Bulletin of the Center for Children's Book. I think that's kind of ironic they would say that, being it's a children's book reviewing company. And again, the first one, the blurbs that this one got, says, you will want to hear, taste, and touch everything, but it's not just the world that is vividly alive. The characters are fascinating too. I love that the friendship, romance, and shifts in feeling. A beautifully written book, and that's by Marie Rotowski, author of the Winter's Trilogy. So even the Winter's Trilogy author loves these books. So again, great shelf appeal. You will love these. Definitely read, and again, they'll look great on your shelf together. And the covers match. I mean, you can't ask for anything more. Great story, matching covers, gorgeous shelf appeal. Amazing romance book, retelling the Arabian Nights. It doesn't get any better than that. So again, read these books. You will not be disappointed. Bye!